and welcome to Straightforward. Today I am visiting with my amazing new friend, Kristen Connor from Cure Childhood Cancer. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I was so impressed when I learned about what you do from our wonderful fire marshal here in Columbus. And he was here for a visit and he was talking about the type of work that you did. It really touched me in that whenever I see the commercial and it talks about the children and we should donate, and that how parents and kids are taken care of and they never need a dime. I'm a grandmother of 4, and that really touches me deeply. So when he said you were a part of a nonprofit that worked with children with cancer, you're raising money to support the families, I was just really impressed. So I thank you so much for driving all the way down from Atlanta in the horrible traffic on a work day to share with our audience more about Cure and all the work that you all are doing. So tell us a little about Cure and how it all came to be.
Yes. Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and just appreciate you having me on. But Cure was founded almost 50 years ago, 50 years in March, by the first pediatric oncologist who came to Atlanta, came to Emory, and there was no childhood cancer research program or support for families. And he came from St. Louis, and he gathered together some parents of some of his patients, and they started raising money actually for a microscope that he needed in order to diagnose leukemia.
How amazing. Leukemia. So it was just to raise money for the microscope.
Yes, so that he could distinguish between different kinds of pediatric leukemia, which was the most common diagnosis at the time. And Cure really, our roots really are in the research, because back then, 50 years ago, very few children survived a diagnosis. So, so we've evolved quite a lot since then, and we are very passionate. I personally am very passionate about funding research.
Research makes the difference.
It's the only path to better treatments and a cure. And then we also do provide support for families who are going through childhood cancer. So,
as we know, healthcare is very expensive.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of, even if you have insurance, it does not cover everything.
Yes.
And if you have a child that needs special care and you have to go somewhere for an extended period, I don't think people think about the lodging, the food, the parking,
the gas,
you know, all of those things. And that's not something that the insurance company is going to cover everything.
No, and we have, I mean, it's a very common perfect storm. So there are so many families in this area that are driving to Atlanta for treatment, and we are in the hospitals with those families, and we're getting to know them. We're understanding their needs, and there's a family that comes to mind. The father is a firefighter. This situation is what happened. So their son was diagnosed with a brain tumor. He spent almost 3 months in the hospital.
3 months.
The parents were trading off, going back and forth.
Because they still have other children and a life.
And work. And the mother owned a small business here, here in Columbus. And then he, you know, after that, went through surgeries, and then they had to do daily radiation for 6 weeks every day. They were driving back and forth. And right now, today, he is in Atlanta receiving chemo. And, you know, when we know that that's what's going on with a family, we can anticipate the cost of gas back and forth.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're missing time from work, so you lose the wages. About 80% of our families.
If you don't lose the job. About 80% of our families experience a decrease in income with a diagnosis. And then you have all of these added expenses. You know, who can
absorb an additional $600 a month in gas.
No.
Plus food, childcare, just it go out-of-pocket medical. So last year we provided almost $800,000 in emergency financial assistance to more than 500 families.
Really?
Paying for things like gas,
those
rent,
incidentals,
yeah,
right?
You know, food. We want the families to be stable during this time and until they can get back to work.
When they're already stressed.
Already.
And being a mother and yourself, you have children. I'm a grandmother. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is. And then just trying to figure out how you're going to maneuver, how you keep the house going. If you're working, like you said, part-time, well, then where is that money is gonna be made up? So your organization, you all have that vision to just say, okay, we can step up. Of course, we know there are other, wraparound services. I used to be a social worker in my other life. We call them wraparound services, where you can go and get some temporary assistance. But if something is ongoing, then it's no longer emergency assistance. You need some long-term support.
Well, and for so many of our families, it is long-term. I mean, a leukemia diagnosis, which is still the most common, is you're talking about 2 years and 3 months of treatment.
2 years.
So it is long, and we're there with families from the day they are diagnosed until they no longer want to have us in their lives.
Right.
We become family. We stay with them. For our bereaved families, we really stay with them.
You stay on the journey.
For our survivors, they unfortunately, with today's treatments, a lot of them suffer from health effects down the road.
Right.
And we're there to help them, through that too, and to stay educated on what the risks are because of the treatment they received. And then most importantly, we're supporting research so that they can have better treatments that won't leave them, with
all those side
damaged, damaged hearts and damaged, bones and all of these terrible things that happen as a result of these life-saving treatments, right? So we're really working hard on more precise treatments, less toxic for these children.
This is a calling for you.
It is a calling.
You had a career. You can always tell when it's a calling versus a job, because as you were speaking, I could look into your eyes and I could see that you were fully committed. This is not something that you're just doing in the meantime because you just wanted to change careers. You are truly an advocate for those families, and your whole heart is there. And that is why this is a great organization. If people want to write a check, the proof is in the pudding. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our first break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided, a touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com. The Framing Factory and Art Gallery for professional framing and decorative art, located in Lake Bottom, 1325 17th Street, or call 706-324-3823.
Hi, I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today I have two amazing retired educators, Mr. Justin Patton and the amazing Arnold Jackson from Albany State University. And Mr. Patton, I'm not overlooking you. You're a Georgia guy. You went to the University of Georgia, and You have great friends, and I have great friends that went there. Actually, my great niece is there now. So we know that you have brilliance there, but you know, I'm so partial to my school.
Of course.
Albany State University. I want to thank you all so much for coming and being a part of this conversation today. Mr. Patton, share with our audience what your background is.
I majored in education at the University of Georgia and did master and 6-year degrees at Auburn. I taught at Richards Junior High Middle School for almost 39 years, and I've been retired for 22 years now.
Okay, and you are a member of that state association.
I was a member and the president of the Muskogee Association of Educators, also the president of the Muskogee Retired Association of Educators.
Okay, so after you left the classroom, we were still able to get work and advocacy out of you.
I don't think it ever stops. The teacher's job is never done.
Okay, and we really appreciate your type of educator. It's a life's job, mission.
Once a teacher, always a teacher.
I love that. And Mr. Jackson, share with our audience, our beloved Stacey Jackson of the Albany State University and our former district attorney who has moved for work to reward, and we're always so very proud of him and his excellence. But he had no choice. Because what? Mother and daddy were excellent people from the Albany State University and educators.
Absolutely.
So share with our audience your background.
Okay, first of all, born and raised in the South, born in Dawson, Georgia, went to school in Albany, Georgia, and finished Monroe High School in 1963. Trying to just look at where tomorrow bring, I decided I wanted to go to Albany State University. And that was a blessing because I lived in the city. So therefore, I was able to go to school without having to pay all the dormitory fees and
Like
what
the
have you.
rest of us, and then be hungry at night.
Absolutely.
At home, right.
So after finishing the Albany State University in Albany, Georgia, I went into education. And my first employment was in Talbot County.
Taught many of my relatives. You're legendary in Talbot.
I was there from 1968 until 1986, 68, 86.
Wow.
And left there and went to Harris County, where my wife had been working for many years, and worked there until 2007. A total of 39 years in education, and been working part-time because for 18 years, still in Harris County, helping boys and girls and trying to make a difference
Exactly.
in this business. And once you get it in your heart, you can't depart from it.
Exactly. And you want to change lives, and you want to prepare the next generation.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what Mr. Patton, of course, you've been a guest on Straightforward as well as Mr. Patton.
Okay.
He and another educator. And on our last visit, you shared some things that were happening throughout the state where we're banning books. One teacher, there was a book from the book fair, and they ended up punishing the teacher because she read from the book fair.
Fired her.
Fired her.
Yes, they did.
And so the state organization was supporting her, and you're a part of that organization.
Yes, got her job back for her.
Oh, you all did?
We did.
See, I didn't know that. So our last visit, that was still in litigation.
Yep.
And so you all were able, through the state organization,
Yes.
to get, and that's why you were saying teachers need to join.
I would have never walked into a classroom without being a member of the National Education Association and the Georgia Association of Educators. They were so supportive. They're teacher unions, but they cannot bargain contracts and things like that.
Right.
Teacher contracts are determined by the state legislature
Okay.
and their salaries.
Okay. And so having a group behind you and representation, it gave power and support to.
And the lawyers of the association were behind us as well.
Okay. So
You never know when you're going to need a lawyer.
Okay, you never know. Hey, we had our district attorney from Albany State University. Yes, and so anybody that can join, share that with our audience because some people might not know that.
Yes, anyone that's in the educational field, no matter if they're superintendent, principal, or teacher,
Okay.
can be a member of those state and national associations.
And it's annual dues
Yes.
and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but it's worth it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's for the protection of you as a professional.
That is correct.
In the classroom. So, in your time, you all are from a different generation. Of course, you are a Columbus High graduate,
I am.
and you were Columbus Junior High, and then, how did that work?
When I went to school, I graduated from Columbus High School in 1950.
Really?
I mean, excuse me, good God, 1960.
60, okay, 60, okay.
Let me not make myself older than that, than the 83 years I am. Let's not get older.
Hey, that's a blessing.
But yes, we had elementary school that ended in the 7th grade. There were no junior highs.
Okay.
And we went straight from elementary school into high school. So got to spend 5 years at Columbus High School,
Okay.
8 through 12.
Okay, so you didn't have to, that's when we had even at Carver pre-freshman.
Yes.
Is what we called it back then. And of course, all of this was before they integrated the schools.
Okay.
Then a
Yes.
lot of things changed once integration came.
Right.
And then now, as of today, things are still changing. And we have to be very careful about how things change because we don't want any children left behind.
Absolutely.
That is correct. And we have to be wary. We cannot afford to take our eyes off the prize for 1 second. Every single decision with education is made by an elected politician, and we have to watch them and hold their feet to the fire, or they will take advantage of the situation and funding will disappear.
Right, and funding is important because we want schools adequately funded for children from all socioeconomic
Absolutely.
backgrounds.
That's public education.
Public-
We take whoever comes to the door
Exactly.
and work with that child to get them as far as we can get them, don't we?
Well, I always had the thought process of the parents send us their very best
Right,
because they are all they have to send us.
right.
So our job is to work with them and work extremely hard to make sure they are productive citizens and are going to make a contribution to this great world that we live in.
Okay.
And
So
keep-
that's understanding what the mission
Right.
is.
But you keep in mind, you've got a teacher in a classroom with 30 kids. Every single one of the 30 is a different individual
Oh, yeah.
with different experiences.
Yes.
And in the course of the day or the hour, we have to deal with each one and make sure each one gets the best that we can give them. And public education is excellent.
Yes.
We have some teachers in there that are working their hearts out.
Oh, yeah.
And funding is short, and you will not find a teacher that does not spend a good deal of their own money
Yes.
every year
That's correct.
buying things for their students to use for their education. And
Okay.
we don't mind.
I know, because it's a mission and a calling. What we're going to do is go to our break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Columbus Pediatrics GA, working together to build lifelong relationships between our staff and patients by consistently providing compassion, excellence, and value with 2 locations. The Old Town office at 3580 Massey Lane, Suite F, 706-596-8667. The Midtown office, 1900 11th Avenue, Suite A, 706-323-3400. ColumbusPediatricsGA.com. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season building a family legacy. The Miley Agency, Gerald Miley and his team can assist you in every aspect of your insurance needs. Call today for your free quote at 706-996-2045 or visit themiley.agency.com. New Horizons Behavioral Health, building better lives in the Chattahoochee Valley, providing services to persons with mental illness, developmental disabilities, and addictive diseases. Located in the Health and Human Services Building, 2100 Comer Avenue, Columbus, or call 706-596-5500.
welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this awesome conversation with our state senator, Ed Harbison, from the 15th Senatorial District of Georgia, and we're on location at the National Infantry Museum. If you have not been here, you have simply missed a treat. The grounds are beautiful. There are so many wonderful memorials. We have the Vietnam Memorial. We have a recognition of those lost in Iraq. This is a place that you must bring your family, particularly your children, and any veteran that you know. Please encourage them to come out and visit.
Yeah, and I hasten to add, too, that it's a beautiful facility, as you mentioned, and probably one of the most visited, if not the most visited museum in the nation.
It is.
We're proud of that.
We are very proud of that, and this is a location where we have our graduations,
Yes.
where we're making new soldiers on a regular basis.
That's
here
right.
and preparing them to defend our freedom. Senator, you have done so much in your service, and of course we thank you for being that Marine in that sharp uniform. I've seen that picture. And all those tours with Vietnam. We applaud you for the bills you've worked on. Particularly, we're very excited. We finally have that tax relief for our retired military,
Right.
so we don't lose them to the adjoining states.
Right.
We get to keep all of that great talent and tax money over on this side of the Chattahoochee.
Amen.
You've done so much with the Purple Hearts, with our children, military students. When they transfer somewhere else here, they're not being penalized or held back.
That's right.
The spouses,
That's right.
they get the assistance if they're a nurse, where they can go on and get a job.
That's
Those
right.
are just a few of the things. But we have, here in Columbus, a lot of widows and widowers of veterans.
Veterans, that's right.
And so there is some confusion sometimes when the spouse passes away about whether or not some benefits are still in place.
Yeah, it is. It
Mm-hmm.
is for the woman or the man. Of course, if the man, that's
Right.
if he's the veteran, that's
Right.
a moot point. But the bottom line is, if you stay in your home and there's ad valorem attached to that, so you don't pay because of the veteran status, that passes through to the wife.
Okay.
If that's the context of
Okay,
it. And that is something that we had to clarify. I worked with Representative Carolyn Hughley on that, and she stuck it in one of the bills, and we passed that bill. So we clarified that. In another instance, that was an active duty soldier stationed here at Fort Benning who had been in combat, wounded, had a leg amputated, and applied for a Purple Heart tag. And they told him that he didn't qualify because he was not a veteran.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute, but he
He
was active
served,
duty.
he was active
He's
duty, he
active
is a
duty.
veteran,
I said, wait a
right.
minute. So what we did, we hurriedly, I got the information, passed the bill, so it applies to if you got a Purple Heart,
Right.
you are stationed active duty,
Right.
you are a
Right,
veteran,
you're
and you deserve that you can wear that Purple Heart tag.
Right.
So,
And see, that's a confusion when
Yeah.
people are not in the world
Yeah.
of the military,
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
now people have to understand, if you active duty, veteran. If you retired, yes, veteran. If you served 3 months, you are veteran,
That's right, that's right, that's
and
right.
so, but a lot of the things we do know, and we've had them on our shows over the years, is JAG.
Yeah.
JAG is also there. That's the legal team. And they have services for widows and widowers.
That's right.
They can get the wills done there. All of that stuff is very important, and it needs to be done ahead of time.
That's right. That's
Because calling you, and I do know someone that called you about when their parent passed away, and
Yes.
they had done some things, and they thought that they, might be
That's right.
able to be compensated. But all of that stuff has to be done on the front
That's
end.
right. That's right. Other things like national recognition comes to Georgia. The 12 Soldier, 12 Strong movie of guys came to Columbus. Pennington, Sergeant Pennington, and those 12 people who went to Afghanistan after the 9/11 incident, and brought a little revenge on them over there. They made a movement out, 12 Strong.
Right.
And they came to the Senate. I sponsored that resolution to recognize them. And incidentally, Sergeant Pennington was inducted into the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame, and I got the honor of putting the medallion on his
Oh,
neck.
how
was
wonderful is that?
These are true heroes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And you hear those stories.
Yes.
It just blows your mind.
Yes.
About what they did.
And one of ours has passed away, Lonnie Jackson.
That's right.
we always heard his story about, how he, whatever he did in place,
That's
running
right.
in
Running
place.
all night long to keep from freezing to death.
Right,
Yeah, that's
right. And of course, he made a lot of contributions. And then in
did.
Columbus, in the East Winning era,
That's
we
right.
have a Vietnam memorial
That's right.
a park wall
Right,
or something
right.
that's there as well. Well, we cannot take for granted all that you have done. And you know how I feel about you. Your children know how I feel about you, your beloved wife, Cecilia, and your mother. And I'm always so very proud to tell your story because you're very humble in telling your story. And Command Sergeant Major, rest his soul, Eddie Robinson, I always got on you about that. But you would say to me, if you're doing it for the right reason, it's not always for the public. So I've learned that humbleness, that portion from you. But I've had this cap made for you. It's not designer, but the gentleman did design it for me, and I kept him busy for about 2 hours trying to figure it out. But I wanted it to say United States Marine Corps, Vietnam, and and he explained to me that this says that whatever Vietnam, because I don't understand that.
Campaign medals.
Right, all of that, had no
Service.
idea. But I wanted to make sure with the purple
Oh,
heart,
wow,
which I
that
know
is
that you have
awesome.
that on your cars
That
and
is
things like
awesome.
that.
That is
So I
awesome.
just wanted to present that to you, and I wanted to thank you,
Lord.
not just for your service in the military, but your service to all of us that live in the 15th Senatorial District of Georgia. I want to thank you for being accessible, respectful, and humble, approachable. A lot of times being a senator or politicians, people are not. The citizens don't feel like folks are approachable.
And I can understand that too.
Right, and
Yeah.
but you've always made yourself available, whether people see you at an event, whether it's the people serving at the
That's right,
event
that's right.
or the people on the dais.
That's right.
So that's your claim to fame.
And I would hasten to add in that context, look, if you call one of your Congressman Bishop, Senator Ed Harvest, and Senator Randy Robinson, Carolyn Hughley, Representative Smiley, we'll get in trouble here, Richard Smith, and
Right, Debbie
and Vance,
Buckner,
and Debbie Buckner.
and
Yeah.
Representative Smiley, he's on the chill right
Yeah,
now
that's
until he
right, 'cause
moves to a next
going
assignment.
to the next level.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in public service, you get a lot of calls, and you
Right.
may drop one or miss one or not get one or
Right.
handling another one, so you can't get to that one. So if you call once, call again if they're going
Right.
to respond. Because any legislator working like that, they're going to respond.
Right.
They're going to respond.
Right, because you're there to serve the people.
You're there to serve the people, and you need to always keep that in context. It's about service, not by grandstanding. That's
Right.
just my idea.
Exactly, and like you told me, you better dance with the one who brought you.
Absolutely. Every minute. Every minute.
Every minute.
And I certainly appreciate that.
Well, I thank you so much for your mentorship and your friendship, all that you've been to me and my family, and we will certainly do this again.
Absolutely.
All right. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.